Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Tuesday, July 26, 2022. Stand up for your country. So a viewer warning, if you're listening on a radio, you don't have to worry about this because you won't see it. But we have a brutal piece of video to show you. It's an attack on a police officer in New York City. And the reason I am showing this, I'm going to show you all of it. It runs about a minute. I'm going to voice it over by giving you the facts of the case. But the reason I'm doing this is to show you what police officers are going through in every major city in this country, because the progressive left has pretty much destroyed the criminal justice system in America. Now, a lot of people are not paying attention to this, but certainly if you know police officers, if you know any law enforcement, they know what's going on. And you should too, and this will vividly bring it home. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So we begin Saturday, July 23rd, last Saturday, 6 p.m., Harlem, New York, 125th Street and Lexington Avenue. So there are police in the station. They see two 16-year-olds, a boy and a girl, hopping over the turnstile. They are avoiding paying going on the subway. Now, this never used to happen before, because if it did, you were arrested. Now, because of the progressive leadership in New York State and City, you are not arrested. The worst that can happen to you if you jump over a turnstile is you get a ticket, which these people don't pay anyway. So the police confront the boy and the girl in Harlem on Saturday at 6 p.m. Roll the tape, I'll voice it over. The boy immediately starts to aggressively confront the police officer, and it descends into a physical confrontation. You can see the girl there trying to help the boy, and a female police officer neutralizes the girl. Now, this goes on for more than a minute. You can see how intense this is, and that both people could have been badly hurt. Now, the third man that just came in is a transit officer, and they finally neutralize the 16-year-old boy. Now, this kid, just in the past few months, was arrested carrying a loaded gun and then arrested again for a robbery. This same kid. He was let out both times carrying a loaded handgun. So the next time you hear Governor Hochul or the mayor of New York City or anybody talking about handguns, you say you're letting criminals who carry loaded handguns out. No bail, no anything. So the police officer has to go to the hospital. The two juveniles are booked. They're let out right away. They're let out. And here's what they're charged with: assault, second degree on a police officer, obstructing governmental administration, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct. Doesn't matter. Even though the guy had an arrest with a loaded handgun and now an assault on a police officer, he's out on his own recognizance. That means no parent there, because he doesn't have a father, I can guarantee you. All right? So he's just out, just walks out, goes back to gang headquarters, and he's a big hero. This is the system here in New York City, and in Chicago, and in Philadelphia, and in Baltimore, and in LA, and in San Francisco, and in Portland, Oregon, and in Seattle, and in Minneapolis, all of these places. Why? Because the progressives who run those places don't want to prosecute criminals, especially minority criminals. That is the truth. So put yourself in the shoes of that police officer. This guy can assault him. What if he took the police officer's head and banged it against the steel girder there that you saw? Maybe if he killed the police officer, they'd hold him. Maybe. And you know, the sleazy lawyers are going to run in, self-defense. It's the cop's fault, overreaction. And here's the kicker on this. The cop wasn't going to arrest the two. All he wanted was them to get out of the subway system. He wasn't going to arrest them. This kid wanted to assault the officer because he knew he'd get away with it and be a big hero in his gang. This is really the worst that I have seen in this country. And it all comes back to the progressive left. It's right there. Yet millions of Americans continue to vote for them. Minorities, African Americans, voting against their own protection, putting themselves in physical danger. Last night, there were 9 people shot in New York City on a Monday night. This never happened under Bloomberg and Giuliani. Okay. Now, we called Governor Hochul's office for comment. Of course, I'm not going to say anything because she's the problem. She could do away with this no bail law. She's the problem. Yet she'll get millions of votes in November. It's almost suicide, cultural suicide. And the police, I can't tell you. Every police officer, every single one in all of these out-of-control cities know they are in danger. And that's the memo. Okay. Let's go to Biden. He didn't do anything today. He's still sick, I guess, COVID. He had some virtual meeting with some Korean conglomerate or something. Means nothing to you, means nothing to me. He doesn't do everything. Every day he does nothing. All right? He just doesn't do anything. The guy sits there. It's an article in the Wall Street Journal on the op-ed page today that says his own staff, I don't know if this is true or not. It's not sourced well, the article, the op-ed. His own staff says the guy's not doing anything. Biden's own staff says it, whispers it to political whatever. I don't really believe those kinds of articles because they're lazy, but I don't see Biden doing anything, and I report on him every day. Okay, Nancy Pelosi, China, Taiwan. So this is an interesting story. In April, Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, was supposed to visit Taiwan. Okay, she didn't go because of COVID. She got COVID. Okay, then her trip was postponed, but she wouldn't tell anybody when she was going to Taiwan because of quote unquote security reasons. Okay, all right, I understand that. Then the Chinese get wind that she's going to blow into Taiwan in August, and they threatened the United States. If she goes, we're going to do blah, 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 you know, what China always does. They don't want Taiwan in the news or legitimized. Then Pelosi doesn't say anything. Instead of standing up to the Chinese and say, look, if I want to travel to Taiwan, I'm a Speaker of the House, I'm going to travel to Taiwan. Then a reporter asked Biden about it. Roll it.
President, do you think it's a good idea for Speaker Pelosi to travel to Taiwan this summer?
Well, I think that the military thinks it's not a good idea right now, but I don't know what the status of it is.
Of course you don't, Joe. You probably didn't even know she was going. Pelosi's not going to go. I don't think she's going to go. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I don't think she's going. Because the Biden administration doesn't want any problem with China at this point. All right, last night we did, I think, one of the finest pieces of journalism we've done in the past 5.5 years since I've been doing the No Spin News. We gave you the absolute truth about the January 6th committee and what they are trying to do and how they did not call and issue subpoenas to people who could have told the American people the truth about what happened on January 6th. Then, based upon all the information that I gave you, I analyzed exactly what happened. If you are a BillO'Reilly.com premium member, you can access that report if you missed it anytime you want. And I strongly encourage you to do so you'll see the difference between what we do here on the No Spin News and what all the other television news agencies do. It's enormous, the difference. Now, there are 2 questions that people wrote to me about. I want to address them both. First of all, who had the authority to call in the National Guard to protect the Capitol on January 6th? The authority laid with the Defense Department, the DOD, Department of Defense. That's who could have ordered the troops in. But their fallback, this is General Milley and President Trump, who's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces at the time, was we don't want to send those troops in if the Capitol Police and Washington, D.C. doesn't want them. Okay? Remember, this was before anybody knew anything that was going to happen on January 6th. This was days before. So according to NPR, of all people, the director of the Capitol Police Force, a man named Stephen Sund, S-U-N-D, made 6 requests, in the days before January 6th, to the House and Senate to bring the Guard in. All of those requests were denied. All 6 were denied. And Sund says because they didn't want, quote unquote, bad optics. Now, Sund was fired, so he has a beef. Okay. Now, what we do know is that the Guard never showed up. We knew that. Muriel Bowser on January 5th, one day before the riot, said this, put it on up, quote, to be clear, the District of Columbia is not requesting other federal law enforcement, that would be the National Guard, discourages any additional deployment without immediately notification to and consultation with the Metro Police Department. Okay, so Bowser didn't want him. Bowser didn't want him. Clear. Pelosi said, I didn't know anything about it. That's untrue. She had to know because the formal request was made by the Capitol Police Chief. 6 times. She had to know. She's not telling the truth. What a shock, right? Nancy Pelosi not telling the truth. So anyway, again, we nailed it. Go to BillO'Reilly.com. If you're not a premium member, become one. You get a free book and everything else. And you will know what happened on January 6th because it's important for the political landscape of America going forward. You know Trump's going to run. And you know the press is going to attack him over January 6th. So you should know, and all of your friends and family should know, what the deuce actually happened. And we have it for you. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in America. I am an AMAC member, and you should be too. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits, insightful takes on today's news, and a magazine full of uncensored content that you will not find anywhere else. Most importantly, AMAC is working tirelessly to preserve the freedoms enshrined and secured by our Constitution. AMAC has become one of the most impactful organizations in America because more than just talk, AMAC gets things done. They are pushing back against the efforts to defund our police, weaken the borders, and replace your freedom with government control. But they need your help. Stand with me and more than 2 million patriots and join AMAC today at amac.us. That's AMAC.us. amac.us, and tell them O'Reilly sent you. Border. This is unbelievable. Fox News is reporting that the Department of Homeland Security says 500,000 gotaways have crossed into the USA in the current fiscal year that began last October 1st. The fiscal year in the U.S. government runs from October 1st to October 1st. So this is Fox News reporting 500,000 gotaways. That means they have no idea. The U.S. government has no idea where these people are. They weren't confronted. They just snuck in. Do I believe this story? I think it's more. I think it's more than 500,000 because it's so chaotic under Biden on the border. Multiple senior Department of Homeland Security sources told Fox. So it's an anonymous source. You should know that. We always tell you where the information comes from on the No Spin News. Now, on Wednesday this week, all right, tomorrow, special report for BillO'Reilly.com premium members called Defending America, where I take my expertise, perhaps the highest among any civilian in this country, because I wrote and researched Killing the Killers, the secret war against terrorists. I know what I'm talking about. We're going to do a special Defending America tomorrow for premium members only. Begins at 8 p.m. But if you're a premium member, you can watch it anytime you want. So it's another reason to sign up, and I hope you do. It's a good special. You taped it already. It's good. Okay, so the Biden administration, instead of stopping or trying to stop all of this unbelievable illegal migration, they say, you know what we're going to do now? We're going to give them all IDs. So if you're an illegal immigrant, the Biden administration wants to give you an ID. Why? So you can access housing, healthcare, transportation, other benefits paid for by the American taxpayer. So illegal migrants can get all this stuff, even though their cases are not adjudicated yet. That's what the Biden administration wants to do. Of course, that would cost billions of dollars. I mean, I am beside myself, and you can feel it in my voice. I know you can hear it. I have never seen in my entire 47-year in journalism anything even approaching the incompetence of President Biden. Nothing's close. I didn't live through Herbert Hoover. He was bad. But this makes Jimmy Carter look like Abraham Lincoln. That's how bad this president is in his job. All right. Now, some of you know I went to the Kennedy School at Harvard. I have a master's in public administration. I always say they made a mistake in admitting me, but I got the sheet, okay? So when I was at Harvard, it was very liberal, but it wasn't oppressively liberal. I mean, the professors and I had good dialogue, and I have to say at the Kennedy School of Government, I was one of the star students because I knew more than a lot of the professors, because I had been to El Salvador, and I had seen the Falkland War, and I had been to the Middle East and Northern Ireland. So I had a lot of experience, and some of them didn't. So we had very lively discussions, but it was always respectful. So now the Harvard Crimson, which is the newspaper, they have conducted a survey, and they found out that liberal faculty at Harvard's Arts and Sciences Department outnumber conservatives 82-1. 82-1. I wonder who the poor one is. Nobody talks to that guy. They also found 83% of faculty surveyed at Harvard identify as liberal or very liberal. 16% identify as moderate. 1.5% of the faculty in a whole university says they're conservative. And then they asked, the Crimson newspaper said, would you support more diversity in the university hiring more conservative professors? 25% would support the idea. This is Harvard faculty. 31% oppose it. They don't want any other point of view but their own. 44% say they neither support or oppose it. That's usually what the professors do. They're wishy-washy. They want Okay, now I tell you all this because it's interesting. It's my alma mater. And Harvard is considered the most prestigious school in the world. And it is a left-wing factory. If you are stuck in a timeshare and you haven't called Lone Star Transfer yet, what are you waiting for? Lone Star Transfer has helped more than 16,000 happy customers. They are family-owned, have a 99% success rate. Their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. I mean, does it get better than that? The team at Lone Star Transfer will keep you informed every step of the way until you are legally and permanently released from your timeshare. So don't pay another penny for a timeshare you don't use. Get peace of mind today with Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. Give Lone Star Transfer a call for a free no-obligation consultation. 855-551-7066, 855-551-7066, or online at LoneStarTransfer.com. All right, here is the final thought that I forgot because I need a nap. Samantha Bee, late night, far left comedian, canceled. Okay, is anybody surprised? I'm not. Nobody watched her. She's done. And she is a member of the Smug Club. Here are the other members: Colbert, Trevor Noah, John Oliver, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel, on and on and on and on. The Smug Club. Here's my question. How can you left-wing comedians be so smug and arrogant and condescending and supercilious, word of the day, how when you all supported Joe Biden? Wouldn't that humble you a little bit? Wouldn't you say, dang, I made a mistake there, man. I don't like Trump, but Trump governed the economy pretty well. Right? What do you have to be smug about? What? This is now, he's past Herbert Hoover, in my opinion. I mean, it's close. The second worst president ever, next to James Buchanan. Someday I'm going to tell you all about James. But you don't have a right to be smug, but you're smug. And Americans have had quite enough of the Smug Club. Quite enough. And there's a lot of news people that are smug too. They don't want to watch him. I hope I'm not. If I'm smug, you got to let me know. I don't want to be smug. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We will see you tomorrow. Inflation at its highest level in 40 years. Interest rates skyrocketing. We all know that. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, not only predict a recession, but are using scary terms like economic hurricane and unprecedented. So, you need to call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Please call them today, and they will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers, are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532.
Bill O'Reilly is back on TV and only on The First. No Spin News, every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on The First.